it's finally over, guys. It's finally over, and basically what I'm going to be talking about in this video is how... Well, I'm going to be talking about... We'll come back to that in a second. I'm also going to be explaining in this video why I've been sharing so much stuff about my own personal stories recently. Because it was yesterday that the Lord, the good Lord, which happy Sabbath, by the way, guys. The sun is setting and it's Friday, so it's the beginning of the Sabbath. Happy Sabbath, everyone. And yesterday, the Lord made it clear that he wanted me to give him 3 days. Now, when he said that, I didn't realize why he was saying that. I thought it was because there's a lot of things starting next week, and from basically next week it's gonna be just go go go. And then I realized, because everything's gonna kick off from next week. And it just hit me that me and the Lord are never gonna have this time together again. And I've been crying about it all day. Well, as soon as it hit me, because I didn't get it yesterday when he said it, but this morning I woke up and I was listening to a message of one of the men of God that I like to listen to. And I love how none of us like to be too quick to throw titles on ourselves, because we know how important how much God, look, even there comes the sun. We even know how much responsibility it is to hold a position, or have consider yourself to have a position in the kingdom. So anyway, I woke up this morning and I was feeling the usual anxieties I've been feeling, which I will talk about in a minute. And I watched this message and I just felt so grounded by the message, because the guy was explaining about, what the Lord was telling him about this year, 2024. And everything he was saying is just literally everything I've been praying for. He was talking about exposing the child trafficking on the border of the United States, and just lots of stuff that's coming in this year. And then it dawned on me why God said to me, give me 3 days. I thought he meant as in he wanted to, I don't know, there was something really specific he wanted to say. But then I realized it was these are the last 3 days that me and him are going to have, the way that we've had it for the last 3 years. And, oh my gosh, I literally, this is why I can't talk about my love of the Lord, because I literally can't help it. And I'm just I can't believe, I don't know if you guys understand, I have loved every moment of my relationship with the Lord the last couple of years, because it hasn't always been easy. It hasn't always been fun. Sometimes I've been really angry at him. Sometimes he's been angry at me. But I've never laughed so hard with somebody. I've never cried so hard with somebody. I've never enjoyed somebody's company so much, and I just can't get enough. That's why I'm the idea that now I know, going into it now, because basically I'm going to be fully reintegrated into society, right? This is what's happening. It's nothing huge, especially huge is happening just yet. But I will officially be reintegrated into society, if you like. So, yeah, I won't have, me and the Lord, we won't be able to do the things. Right now, for example, I'm sitting on this hill. And funnily enough, I used to live here. And it's actually where everything changed, not on the hill, but literally on a house right behind me. The house closest to the end of where the camera is. So right, where are we? Right. Oh, this house right here. No, can't find it. There we go. That one. That was a house I used to live in when I was probably around 10. And it's the house where literally everything changed. Everything changed for the better and everything changed for the worse in my life. It was the house where my brother, and the reason why I'm here is because I'm about to go and be working on my song, which is again just why all of the emotions are just all over the place, because of course every time I'm in this emotional state is somehow when I end up working on this song. But anyway, and I'm just thinking about this is the first time I've sat here. I used to sit here, come out here. I loved this house, because imagine outside the back door there's this hill here. Behind me there's this whole field. Down there there's another field to the right of me. Look, it's absolutely amazing around here. There's a whole farmland over there, and somebody had built a tree house, which we used to call the Intergalactic Planetary, behind, all the way at the back and stuff. And so I've got to get this to balance in the grass. There's another whole another whole thing you have to do when you decide to film outside. So yeah, so coming here and having to like be here for in this area to record my song, it's just like, it's very cathartic, I guess you could say. But it's also like, it's just a reminder of like how far me and the Lord have really come like over the years. And the fact that like, to me now, after everything, after like this, the last time I was when I initially moved into this house as a kid, it's probably the last time that mentally I was on a clean slate, like the kind of mental clean slate I have right now as a result of like everything with the Lord. And yeah, I don't want to have to give up a slice of what I've had with the Lord, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to have to be reintegrated into the world. I've been feeling anxieties because of, like, if you can imagine, I've put all my hope, all my faith, all my everything into the Lord. Like, so at certain points in the last couple of years, like in my best moments, I would literally be asleep during the day when everybody's awake. And then when everybody's asleep, I'll be awake and I'll be with the Lord. Like in the middle of the day when other people will be doing things with other people, I will be out in nature like this. This is literally so annoying. So I shouldn't have moved it from the position I found before. I'll literally be out doing things like this, out in nature, talking to the Lord, laughing with the Lord, observing nature, you know, and just at peace and just, I don't know. It's hard to explain if you haven't experienced it. But like for me, it literally just does feel like a breakup. It feels like a breakup. It feels like I know now for the rest of my life, I'm never going to have a time like this again with God. Like, it's never going to happen. And it's not that God isn't going to be there. Like, he's obviously always going to be there. But like this alone time we've had together. And he told me, I remember at some point during the time, he was like, you know, make sure we need to make the most of this. Because like, once it's done, like, we're never going to have this again, like this side of eternity. Like, not in a bad sense. I know I'm like crying and stuff. It's not in a bad sense. It's in a good sense, because like, obviously this whole period of time was like, you know, preparation and getting ready for things and planning things. And I've been like everything that's happening is everything that the Lord has been informing me about. That's why I'm so well prepared for what's happening. I'm not walking into 2024 thinking, oh no, what's going on in the world? Like, oh, like how a lot of people feel. Because I'm not shocked. I'm not worried. I have the strategies of the Lord. I've been working on planning what we're going to do. I've been like, even with this TikTok thing, I'm going to do a whole video about TikTok, because it's funny how people are now wondering what they're going to do, that their whole income is now going to be at risk because they were making money in a small business on TikTok, and now they can't do that because, oh, this is so annoying. They can't do that because, you know, the potential ban of TikTok. And it's just all of this for me. And that's what's tough. It's like, I've been like putting all my hope and faith in the Lord. And so reintegrating myself into a society that is such a slave to the system and such a slave to the other things, that is so broken, that is so like dysfunctional, there's so much destruction, it's so degenerate. You know what I'm saying? It's just like all the D words, it's death. I feel like I'm living in the zombie apocalypse already. And so the reason why I've been having these anxieties is because like, everything is pure and perfect with the Lord. Like, he is pure and perfect. I'm not. I for sure am not. I'm far from it. And that's actually one of the things that I'm going to miss the most, is just the safety of somebody that like truly loves you for who you are and how you are, and like is forgiving and is understanding. And like, you know, there'll be like little moments me and the Lord would have like over the years where like I'll be crying. I'll wake up, because a lot of the time what I would do is I'll just wake up and be like, God, what is it on your agenda today? Like, what are we doing? Like, what's the adventure? Because it felt like every day felt like an adventure. I don't know what the Lord's going to throw at me. I don't know where the Lord is going to speak to me from, but I know he's going to do something. And I always wake up expectant, and I always do. And this is something that people get wrong about the Lord, is like, you got to be expectant. Wake up expectant. You know what I'm saying? So that you're showing God that you have the faith that he's actually going to do something. So I'd always wake up so expectant, like, God, what is it that we're doing today? And some days I would literally be like, so what are we studying? Who are we praying for? Where do I need to go? What do I need to do? Da 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 da. You know, because I'm like, I'm ready for whatever he has on his mind. And it'll just be like, well, what's going on with you? And I just can't imagine walking away from somebody that is that good to me. Because like, imagine that this is God, right? There are so many things going on, and he's already doing so many things. He's already doing so much, and he wants to do so much more. He's just waiting for us to actually, like, you know, willingly allow him to work in our lives and allow to use us to be the vessels of his power. But despite all of that, God, like, actually cares about me. Like, he actually takes the time out to ask about me, to talk about what's going on with me, to be interested in the things I'm actually interested in, and to laugh with me about silly things, and to talk to me about things that actually don't technically matter in the grand scheme of things, but we can have a nice moment together. And that's why I think we're actually close, because I think, like, people don't understand why I feel so close to the Lord, but it's because I really do treat God as a person. And that's why, for me, and I feel like he's sad about it as well. I feel like we're both feeling sad about it together, to be honest with you. Like, the fact that, like, yes, it's great, it's been amazing, and it's going to be even more amazing, like, and the things that we're going to do together are going to be, like, awesome, but nothing is ever going to beat this time I spent alone with the Lord. Like, I know that sounds insane, but, like, nothing can compare, like, literally nothing. And I don't want to give away a single slice, a single crumb. I don't want to give any of it away, because that God has just been so good to me, and God just cares so much, you know, because meanwhile, while the world is arguing about this, that, and the other, and division and this, the Lord is putting in strategies of, what am I going to do to save my kids? What are my plans, so that if everything goes to hell, the arcs have been built for the seasons to come. Like, us adults are arguing about stupid things, right? Meanwhile, there's children being tortured, and God is like, who is going to care about, like, God is strategizing and allowing things to happen in such a way so that the justice can happen for the people who, like, who don't have anybody fighting for them. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm very emotional with the Lord, because we be crying about this stuff. We be crying, like, about how, like, the church will be talking about all this other random topics and all these other things, and enjoying looking better, feeling better than other people, and enjoying feeling good because they read a Bible verse every day, and enjoying feeling good because they go to Sunday every Sunday, but they're not doing the work of, like, the apostles, like, you know. And we're reading through the book of Acts, which I need to upload Acts 5, because it's a really good example of exactly what I'm talking about. Like, in terms of just religious people who are very wrapped up in religion, wrapped up in, like, the ideas of what it feels like to look, like the Bible says, having a form of godliness but denying the power. Because it's like, what were the apostles doing in the Bible? The apostles came out to do exactly what Jesus did, which is what Jesus instructed us to do. Spread the good news. Go out healing the sick, helping the poor, feeding the homeless. You know what I mean? Being there for the widow, being there for the orphan, casting out demons, praying for healing. Like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be a force on earth that is taking down the kingdom of darkness. And so, you know, this is what I've been crying out to the Lord the last couple of years. I'm like, God, I don't want nothing. And I told the Lord, I was like, listen, from 3 years ago, I remember it was the start of COVID. It was March 2020. I was telling the Lord, telling him, like, I said, God, listen, I can't be bothered. I can't be involved in anything that's not producing results. So you just inform me how we produce actual results, and not just do all this talking and all this faffing about. And all this feeling good because, oh, we're pastor so-and-so, or apostle so-and-so, or deacon so-and-so, or pope so-and-so, like, fantastic, rabbi so-and-so, brother so-and-so, like, good for you. Where is the fruit? The Bible says that the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why me and God, we get along so well, because, like, the same way that people treat God is the same way I've been treated. So, like, whenever I'm thinking about God, I envision God as a person. I really do treat God as a person. And I think, how would I feel if so many people make all these assumptions about me and don't bother to get to actually know me for themselves? Because that's what I've been through. This is some of the reasons I tell you guys these stories, because I'm trying to give an idea of, like, this is how I feel. And I'm just a human, and I'm just one fallible human who's also 100% the villain in so many people's stories, has done so many things wrong myself, all of that, right? But the other side of that also is, like, I know what it feels like when people have these assumptions about you. They don't bother to actually come to ask you. They just take somebody else's lying, deceitful, or hypocritical, or misled, or misunderstood opinion of you, and then they write you off because they haven't even given you the chance, right? So I know how that feels. So then when I think about how that feels to me, I think about how God must feel like when we treat him like that, you know what I'm saying? And when people lie on your name, I think about how God must feel like when people saying, oh, God did this or God said that, because I've had people do that as well. Like, the God told me to do this, the God told you to do that, the God told you to this. And it's like, no, he didn't. He lied on your name. And it's funny because right, literally behind me as well is the same place, this house of the girl, the one that like lied on that hacked into my Facebook. I've told you guys about this before. That hacked into my Facebook when I was about 13 and said that I wanted to fight another girl, and no one believed me in all the schools of all this town. This town I've just spent walking around to get to this location, and virtually no one believes me because she was just false. She lied, and she hacked my account, but because it looked like me, because it was my account, they didn't know it was being hacked. It's like what people are doing with the Bible in the church. Like, people are taking the scriptures, they're misrepresenting them. You're thinking that this is what the scriptures meant or what is coming from God, but it's not, because it's people's versions of what that is. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I'm close to the Lord because I actually feel like me and him like go through the same things. Honestly, like, we go through the same things. The only difference is, and it's a massive difference, he is actually completely blameless. I have also participated in my own destruction, and even like with the story of this girl, there are ways in which there are things that I could have done that maybe but where you can't completely call me the complete victim. Let's say like that. Like, I'm not, like I said, guys, I am the worst of the worst. I am the worst of the worst. I am the most sinful of all. I am the most unreliable child that God could have ever. You know what I'm saying? But I do my best. And the Lord has taught me that my best, when it is my honest best, is enough and is all that he's asking for from me. And so, that's why, in times like this where I know that I'm now going to have to be in the world again, and I'm going to have to be around people. I'm going to have to deal with emotional, bitter, selfish, dead adults, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to be, working with people's kids who no one's looking after the kids anymore. I truly believe the generation of children today are orphans. I've said this before. So I'm going to be having to dealing with the orphans. And honestly, if it wasn't for the kids, I wouldn't even be giving up this thing with the Lord willingly. I wouldn't be. Because to be completely honest, all these times I talk about disappearing and like moving to Alaska, that's because I want to be with God. Like, it sounds like I don't want to be, like, I'm going to be so happy in bliss because I've experienced the bliss of God when I've had no money, when I've had no people, no nothing. So I'm going to be in bliss. Like, this for me is more hell than where I was with the Lord, when I had nothing. And that's why this world has nothing to offer me. So I've been saying that, like, what has the world got to offer me? Nothing. Right? Nothing, unless it comes from the Lord. And that's what I've realized now, is that so many things do come from the Lord. And that's why I'm telling you guys all this stuff now, and I'm getting a lot of stuff off my chest, is because one of the things I said to God is, I was like, God, before this next season, I have a request. Please, 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 whoever you want to have a close relationship with me in the long term, they need to be established somehow in my life before the winning season comes, because everybody wants to be your best friend when it's winning season. Everybody's going to want to know me. Everybody's going to want to say, oh, like, it's been a long time, everybody. And I ain't got time for all that. I'm like, God, whoever you want to have a serious, deep and close and personal relationship with me on earth to any degree, let them be there before the winning season. And that's why you guys mean so much to me, because you guys have no idea how much I pay attention to you guys, because I'm like, these are the people who were there and invested and were part of the team before everything else, before it was all sparkling, and before like what I'm seeing now. A lot of people, I can tell that some people are feeling a bits of guilt and stuff because they're starting to see how the season is changing, and they're realizing they had no part to play in it, or little part to play in it, or how they should have done things differently, because had they known that things were going to be like this, then, and that's the point. That's the exact point. And I'm just like, it's too late now. It's too late now. And that's why I'm sharing this stuff with you guys. Some of these videos I'm going to take down. I'm telling you guys because you guys are my people. You guys are the people I have to tell. Who else am I supposed to be telling to? And I know it sounds crazy because it's like, well, you're putting it on the internet for the whole world to see. I'm like, yeah, I know, but who else am I supposed to tell other than my actual team? The people, you guys have been seeing me through all sorts of things the last couple of years, all sorts of ebbs and flows. Sometimes I talk about this, sometimes I've been right or wrong about certain things. It was so funny because in this message that the guy I was listening to, he was like, God was saying that some of you, people are going to say that you're naive and full of zeal. And I was like, yeah, that's me. Because that was my anxiety. That's my anxiety about being reintegrated into society again. Because I'm like, first of all, adulting is daunting for me. As in, like, when I say adulting, I don't mean like doing the basics of adulting, but I mean just the like, I'm always like, I'm somebody where like, if I didn't have God, I would have anxiety to the I don't know where, all the way to the back to the planet where Xenu from Scientology is, the galactic overlord, for 75 million years ago, right? That's how far back, how great my anxiety would be if I didn't have the Lord. So for me, just like now having to take on responsibilities again, like being responsible for looking after children or working with children is quite intense for me, because I take it very seriously. Like I take it so seriously. And so, you know, I really hate failing kids in any way, shape and form. And so, you know, so coming back into society is causing me a lot of anxiety. I feel like there's so much I need to know that I don't know. So I'm like, should I even be talking on the internet? Should I even be seeing people? Should I even be around people? Because there's so many things that I need to know that I don't know. And I have so much more that I don't know than the stuff that I do know. And I feel like I don't have enough. If it wasn't for the Lord who's like, it's okay, what you have is enough, just keep going, I would literally, like, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably spontaneously combust, because I feel like I know nothing. Like, and that's how I feel like coming into this new season. Yes, I'm with the Lord and I'm closely knit with the Lord, and praise Jesus, because that's the only reason I'm even agreeing to any of this. Because if not for that, I feel like I don't even know how I'm supposed to do this. I don't even know if like there's so many things that I'm just having to trust the Lord. And I literally feel like this is why I really relate to the Bible characters. When God says to Abraham, he's like, go. And Abraham's like, where? He's like, well, just where I send you. And he's like, where are you sending me? Where I'm telling you to go. He's like, where are you telling me to go? The place where you need to go. So what should I do, Lord? Just go. And it's like, go where? You know what I mean? Do what? This is the same with like the Israelites when God just pulls them out of Egypt. Yeah, he's like, I'm taking you to the promised land. Sounds amazing. But wait, where are the directions to the promised land? And he's like, well, I need you to follow me by a pillar of fire, a pillar of clouds by day and a pillar of fire by night. And it's like, oh, that is the truth of what's scary about having a relationship with the Lord. Is it's like being told one step at a time what you have to do. And just trusting. It's faith. It's literally faith. Just being told one step what to do. Just like that. He doesn't give you the full blueprint, because that's why faith has to come into it, because you have to believe when the circumstances, and that's how the devil wreaks havoc, because when your circumstances start to change, or something happens that doesn't make sense, or you try to, because this is why sometimes I'm always going to seem somewhat off the rails, by the way, guys. I think that's just going to be the thing, because to some extent, I'm always having to just take these steps of faith, and I'm still figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm young as a person. I'm older. I won't say I'm young as a person, but in terms of in faith of the Lord, I'm probably older than a lot of people, which is actually kind of interesting. I think that's where my maturity comes from, come to think of it. Because I'm 26, but I gave my life to the Lord in a house actually right over there from here. So not here, but over there. When I was like 7 years old. So I can distinctly think of all the things that I was and wasn't doing with the Lord for my whole entire life, and how he's been there in my life, my whole entire life. So in comparison to others, you could say I'm older in the faith, but I'm young as a person, and I'm still quite young in the Lord, because the men and women of God that I listen to obviously are far ahead of me, and one day hopefully I can be as wise as they are, and balanced and grounded and together, and like, you know, because so anyway, all I have to just say is that, I'm putting these videos out to inform you guys, because I appreciate you all. I'm so grateful for you guys. You guys have been amazing. I don't think there's anybody on YouTube doing what I'm doing right now. Like, it's nuts. And the reason being is because people don't have foresight. When you don't have God, you don't have foresight. So for me, I always know what's coming. So sometimes I'm acting preemptively, because I know that this video and these videos, as they are going to make more sense at the end of the year or next year than they make right now. Just like how my videos last year make more sense now than they may have done at the time. that makes sense. I've always been ahead in that sense. I've always been saying things before they happen, saying things for years and years and years, and no one's listening, you know. So yeah, so my time with the Lord is coming to an end. It's our last 3 days together alone as we've been. I'm going to be way more taken up with things like work and responsibilities that are not directly connected to the Lord, as in like, you know, like my new job, which, oh my gosh, I hate the freaking way that jobs work, like in nowadays. I can't stand it. I was reading through my contract. There's about 1 billion contracts I had to sign. I was reading through the terms. I had to go back and forth with the lady because they kept trying to put things in the contract that weren't what we were agreeing. And I was like, I know how this works, because as soon as I sign this, you're going to be like, well, you signed the contract, you need to do it. And like, these are the types of things that that pull people away from God as well, because you'll end up getting yourself under a contract, and then God will be like, well, you signed the contract, so you need to, like, I can't, like, do you guys see how this works? Like, yes, you should be obeying me, but you have your own will. You signed that contract, so you have to do that now. It's not my fault that I had other plans for you this week or today or that day or whatever. You signed it, you kind of whatever. So I spent a good few days thinking about this new contract and praying about it, like that it won't come in between anything that the Lord actually would want me to do, and that I'm not acting out of my own mind. And I've been trying to go again back in this little things I'm trying to work on with myself again, like the way that I speak is one of them that needs to level up. So we're working on that. But yeah, so the sun is setting, it's getting dark, and I'm already got to go to do this song of mine. But yeah, you know, the Lord is good, the Lord is great, and I'm just grateful that like we had this time together. And it's just crazy because I know it's never going to be like this again until I get to be with the Father in heaven. Like, I know that. That's what's sad about it for me. Like, it's never going to be like this again. Because from here on out, it's going to be the mission. We're going to be fighting for the kids. We're going to be fighting against the entertainment industry and the religion, the kingdom of darkness. And it needs to happen. Because somebody's got to get serious about it. And more people need to get serious about it. So I can't just stay alone with the Lord forever. Work has to be done. But it has been amazing. And yeah, I've been so happy with God. As much as I've been telling you guys, like I've been making it seem like, oh, everything has been hell. Everything has been hell, because everything that hasn't been God has been hell. But everything that's been God has been like pure bliss, amazing. And I think that's even part of the reason why I enjoyed going to New York, because it was something I just did for myself. And there was like no other, like I mainly did it for myself. And just having that new experience with God and just being with God, it was just something different. Anyways, I think I should go because the clouds are looking dark, which is my sign from the Lord that like, get up, get it together. Anyways, guys, if life's a game, let's play to win. And if you haven't caught up on some of my recent story videos, I recommend you do, because I will be taking them down. Because I just put them up for those of you who are here at the minute, so that you could know more, because I feel like you people, I value you guys so much. I'm so grateful for every single one of you. And also, just to finish off with, the winning season is for everyone. I just want you guys to know that. My winning season is our winning season. We are the winning team. So I hope that you guys are actually being inspired to go and take the wins for yourself in this season as well. Like, it's not just for me. You're not just a participator or like what do you call it? No, you're not just an audience member. We are a team. There's a reason we're called the winning team. This is our winning season together. So yeah, guys, I love you guys so much. Oh, I can't believe this. God bless every single one of you. If life's a game, let's play to win. God bless you all. I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.